All right, welcome to Coffee with Marcus and Mark, the number one stock market show on Spotify and one of the most popular market updates on YouTube. So, in this show, we are going to talk to you about what's happening in the markets and how we are trading it. And today is Friday, March 3rd. And yesterday, stocks rose in a relief rally sparked by Bostic, Fed President Bostic, support of a quarter point hike. But then we also saw yesterday rising labor costs and jobless claims have investors concerned about interest rates, higher interest rates. So, how will we close out the week? And most importantly, what trades are we taking and what's happening with our positions here today? By the way, if this is your first time here, I'm Markus Heitkoetter. This super smart guy over there is my head coach, Mark Hodgson. We're real traders who trade live accounts. So, therefore, we got a lot of trading experience and we're showing you how we trade these crazy markets. So, trust me, we know our stuff and we're not afraid to tell you like it is. So if you're here and looking for some honest insights into the fascinating world of trading, you are in the right place. And geez, I mean, never a dull moment. What do you know? Just a couple of days ago, it looks like we had a losing week, and now things are turning around.
Yeah, not too bad, Marcus. Not too bad. S&P now positive for the week. The Dow also positive. The Nasdaq positive, and it did look like we were going to be wrapping up the week really at lows that we hadn't seen since earlier in January. But a nice little pop, and S&P back above 4,000.
Yeah, it seems that investors are shaking off the higher interest rates because, I mean, we are still trading in the 10-year yield above 4%, a level that we haven't seen in quite a while. And the 2-year yield, even though pulling back, is still at a level that we haven't seen since, what did we say yesterday? 2007. So, I mean, the higher interest rates are still there, but right now traders seem to just shake it off.
Exactly. And, Marcus, today, this rally with the 10-year actually falling makes sense, right? So the 10 year is down over 1%. It's pulling back a little bit. S&P right now higher. But yesterday, the 10-year was up and the markets were up.
Yeah, but I mean, we're also looking at the 2-year, and the 2-year today is rising, and so are stocks. So that's something bizarre because usually we see when interest rates are rising that stocks are falling. So interesting to see this. And yeah, we have been talking about the 50-day moving average and 200-day moving average. 200-day moving average held as support, and right now we are trading above the 50-day. So what's causing this rally, Mark?
Well, sound like a broken record, but it's all about the Fed and inflation and interest rates. So, I mean, this is where I think there was a little bit of a sigh of relief after Atlanta Fed President Bostic said that he thinks that they could raise rates a quarter point rather than 50 basis point, and that's what we saw this last week is the discussion around 50 basis points with inflation data just persisting in a resilient economy and strong jobs market, the Fed not being able to slow things down a little bit, there were concerns about maybe a 50 basis point hike.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. We're not out of the woods yet, and the economic calendar this week has been fairly light. I mean, this were really yesterday. I think this was the important report where we saw that unemployment claims are still coming in lower than expected, pointing to a very hot jobs market here, and the unit labor cost here rising by 3.2%. Next week we have the all important jobs report, but this already gave us a little bit of a glimpse. So I must say, I'm surprised that the markets are rallying.
Yeah, it did seem like there was some uncertainty and concerns, and I agree. I thought we would go into the weekend a little bit timid, but not the case. Looks like traders want to be long going into the weekend, and next week we do have a more active economic calendar.
That's for sure. So just looking at the next week ahead. So we have on Tuesday Fed Chair Powell testifying, and also on Wednesday, I believe that one day it's in front of the Senate and the other one in front of the Banking Committee, something like this. Then we have the JOLTS jobs opening, and of course on Friday, the big one, the jobs report. And this is what really the Fed is concerned about right now, that the jobs market is still, still super strong.
Yeah, January, the big jobs number, 517,000 jobs added. So next week, we're going to get a better look or a better feel for where the job market stands, and there could be some fireworks. We'll see.
We'll see. Talk about fireworks. I mean, yesterday the Dow was actually moving higher because CRM Salesforce was just up and away. Today, a little bit falling, but still massively up after reporting great earnings. We talked about it yesterday. But then also, one of the stocks that has been in the spotlight is Silvergate Capital. Did you see what's happening there?
I know that there are some bankruptcy concerns, and this is tied to crypto. One of the reasons why Bitcoin's down, but I don't know the exact details on this one,
Yeah, we,
Marcus.
we know that FTX, the FTX exchange, exploded, imploded in November, and Silvergate, a bank that is really heavily tied to cryptocurrencies, already started moving lower from around 50 to what, 26, so already cut in half here. And right now they are delaying their report that they should actually schedule and say, yeah, well, we are still shifting a few things around, and this was there are some concerns about bankruptcy. So the FTX fallout still
Sure.
happening, and yeah, as you said, this is where Bitcoin, that has been very solidly trading here above 23,000, now dipping below 23,000 again. This morning, even as low as 22,000 and testing this level.
A pretty sharp decline after Bitcoin holding up above 23, 24, even touching 25 recently.
Yeah. All right, we also got to talk about crude oil. There is some action here this morning in crude oil. If you look at a 5 minute chart, we just see what happened here. That earlier this morning, crude oil actually plummeting here, around 2.5%, and now all the way recovering, rallying right now around 4%. Did you see what happened there?
Now, this has to do with OPEC, right? In Saudi Arabia and the
Yeah,
UAE.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so they have had some disagreements, the two countries, and what the plan is for OPEC, and this is where OPEC controls the production of, or not production, but the flow and output, and the number of barrels to try and you could say manipulate, or at least have target prices. And it looks like traders are trying to figure out what this means right now.
Yeah, because this morning the United Arab Emirates basically said, "Yeah, you know what? I think we're done with OPEC. I think we're getting out of this." This is where the neighbor Saudi Arabia said, "What the heck?" So this is where, yeah, I said traders are figuring out, is this good news or bad news? Initially, this sounded like okay, this means that now the United Arab Emirates can just flood the market with more
Yeah.
oil, and it's not curbed anymore. So oil price went down, but now moving higher. So we'll see what this does. But this is definitely affecting some of our positions that we have.
Yes, yes, we've had a few oil and gas plays recently, and there you see CTRA. Now, CTRA has exposure to natural gas, but also is highly correlated to moves in oil. And we see here a big pop in CTRA, and what's that? Up 2% above
2%,
our.
yeah.
Yeah, we sold calls at the 26 strike. We've collected some nice premium over the last couple of months on this one, and now trading at 26.32.
Yeah, and this is where right now we're looking at a possible roll into next week's 26 call. So we need at least 35 cent. Earlier this morning, we both tried to get 40 cents. This hasn't happened yet. So right now we are trying to get 35%, which would give us 61% annualized. Based on my position, another $1,890 in premium. So let's see. So far, we have not been filled just yet. So that's still That's still an open position. So if we can roll it, we will have CTRA for another week. If not, we're getting called away. And I guess that's okay because we have been in this since the beginning of December, which is well within our parameters, maybe a little bit outside of our average length. How long do we have? Usually you have the stats.
About
How long?
6 weeks, at least in 2022, we were typically assigned for 6 weeks. So it definitely goes beyond what a typical wheel trade looks like, but still trading in a nice range there. And yeah, yeah. I mean, this one a little bittersweet. I wouldn't mind rolling and staying with it for another week. It does have a dividend in 2 weeks too.
Yeah, and that's a dividend of 57 cents. So that's not bad at all. I have a position of 5,400 shares. So that would give me around $3,000 in dividends. So yeah, let's see what happens here for the remainder of the day. It seems after the initial push up, we have been moving sideways here. So if there's a little bit of drop going into the close, we might get filled here. So we'll definitely keep you posted and let you know on Monday of what happened here with our CTRA position. If it is time to say goodbye or if we are in it for another week.
Yep, yep. Now another trade with some exposure to oil, Oxy.
Oxy, this is a trade that I did earlier this week. So I sold the 58, you sold the 57. What I did as we rallied yesterday, I was able to close my puts that I sold and yeah, actually make some good money on this. Did you close yours yesterday or are you going to let yours expire?
Yesterday I had an order to close at 2 cents, and it looked like the offer got down to three, but I was not filled, so I still have those 57 puts that are going to expire today.
Haha, okay. Now, since I was able to close it, this morning there was an opportunity to actually enter the exact same trade again, which I did. You really like the 57 strike better, right? I like the 58. And this morning, right after the close, it was possible to get 50 cents for this. That's pretty much the exact trade that I did earlier this week, closed yesterday. And now I'm doing this for next week. So this is another nice $1,400 in premium here, but you didn't like the 58.
I I I appreciate the 58, but looking back at support, if this stock was to get hit a little bit, it really looks like there's some strong support between 55, 57. 58 was decent. I just decided to be a little more conservative just in case we got a sign, which I think would make it easier to sell calls. But in this case, you made more money.
Hey, the important thing is follow your plan, right? I mean, you
Sure.
got to have a trading plan and you follow it. And this is where you need to make sure that you are in positions that yet you let you sleep at night. If you're waking up in the middle of the night, drenched in sweat, worrying about your positions, you do not have a good trading plan. And this is where, for you, you're much happier with the 57. I'm okay with the 58. And this is where, even though we trade the same strategy, there's always a few variations that you can tailor the strategy to your needs to make sure that this is the perfect trading strategy for you.
Absolutely. Everybody's plan should be unique to them, even if there are similarities and a large part of the plan is the same, like it is for the two of us.
Yeah.
Now, Marcus, one thing that we absolutely agreed on was the opportunity to trade lows. And I see you just brought that up. That working out nicely.
That is working out nicely. On this earnings drop, we sold the 192.50. Yeah, the 192.50. And initially it dropped below this, but it's bouncing back right now. So this will expire worthless. So that was a nice earnings play here.
Yeah, and that's kind of we don't want to get too aggressive with earnings and just assume that we're automatically gonna have an overreaction. But this one with support with the way that it's traded and just how it moved, it seemed like a nice way to pick up some premium. And if we were to get assigned at 192.50, we would have been content with that, happy with
Oh,
that,
yeah.
see it as an opportunity. But this time it puts expiring worthless.
Yeah. And then finally, there's my Google position. And Google today moving nicely higher after yesterday already having a great move. So I am assigned at 108. My break even is at 103.46. So right now, I'm not able to sell calls here against my existing position. I did try to fly a rescue mission. I sold puts at the 86 level, was able to close it as Google started rallying. And that's what I'm looking for right now. If Google keeps rallying to be able to sell calls, otherwise, I will probably keep selling puts at the 86 level, trying to bring down my cost basis here. Because if I would do this and get assigned, my cost basis would be just shy of 100. And I like that a lot.
That works. That
Yeah.
works.
So this is what's going on with our positions here. Overall, a really good week for trading. Let's take another look at the markets here. Before we do you find this helpful? Because if you do us a favor and click on like. This way, we know that you're enjoying these types of videos where we run through our positions. So yeah, looking at the markets today, S&P 500 opening higher, pushing higher right now, hanging out there. So for the past 45 minutes approximately, we have been trading close to highs of the day. So what do you expect for the remainder of the day? Will we continue rallying or will we pull back?
I think that we're gonna probably stay around here, maybe pull back a little bit, but I don't think we're gonna take off from here at this point.
No, I think that right now we will probably stay around the 4,000 level. So I hope that we'll close right here at around 4,000. But that's what I expect for today because there's no more major economic reports that are being released today, unless we have any Fed members saying anything super revealing that we haven't heard just yet. I also believe that we might actually move a little bit lower going into the close and then having not another, but having finally a winning week. I mean, especially for the Dow, it has been a while since the Dow had a winning week, right?
Yeah, what was it, 5 weeks in a row, I think?
Yeah. So definitely good for the Dow, little Dow. There you go. So, anyhow, that's what's going on. And if you would like to learn more about what we do with this rolling, we did a video that explains more of why we roll calls sometimes. Take a look at this. Have a great weekend. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on Monday.
Happy trading, everybody.